Right, some NYUP breaking news today as Kasabian released a statement about Tom Meighan leaving the band. So here we go. So now that the legal proceedings have been concluded, we can comment on the departure of Tom Meighan from Kasabian. No one in the band wanted this to happen. We've all worked so hard for the past 23 years and had big plans for a future together. We're completely heartbroken. But we were left with no choice but to ask Tom to leave the band. There's absolutely no way we can condone his assault conviction. Domestic violence and abuse of any kind is totally unacceptable. As soon as we found out about the charges made against Tom, we as a band made a decision that we could no longer work with him. Unfortunately, we had to hold back this information until he was found guilty in court. We were led to believe that Tom would hold his hands up and in the statement tell everyone what he'd done, but he chose not to, misleading a lot of fans. Ultimately, as much as Tom has hurt us all, we're not the victim in all of this. Domestic violence is something that can never be excused. Thank you for your support at this difficult time. See you all soon, Kasabian. I think it's a much better statement than what was put out yesterday. I think yesterday it seemed a bit vague and it looked as if Tom himself had like maybe mental issues or like had suicidal thoughts or something, and it garnered a lot of sympathy, I thought, and like just the stark contrast in the news today, it's mad. I think. Jordan, what were your initial reactions to the news?
Yeah, the first statement there yesterday had us all a bit confused. Honestly, when I seen the first statement there yesterday, I thought the band as a whole was breaking up. But after seeing that statement there today, everything's a bit more clear. And it seems the band isn't breaking up anyway, and they're going to continue on without him.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. And Donny, what do you think of it?
First of all, you'd have to say fair play to Kasabian for actually, putting out what their thoughts are and not sugarcoating it. Obviously, they couldn't yesterday with there's probably a legal embargo on it or something like that, and they had to put something out. Unfortunately, it was worded in a way that made it sound like it was something from Tom Green's, his mental issues. He has his mental health wouldn't be the best or something like that. But fair play to him for maybe not covering their tracks, but actually being very transparent in what's going on. And there is a sign of life still in Kasabian with their last, see you soon. Kind of makes it sound like they're going to be onto something in the future without Tom.
Yeah, I suppose in this statement they almost distance themselves from Tom, saying like they wanted to say things but couldn't. Obviously, like you said, there's legal proceedings, there's embargoes, all that kind of stuff. But like, yeah, they've completely just gone against Tom here and said, look, we had to get rid of him out of the band. We can't condone this kind of behaviour. And fair play to them.
So, yeah,
so. I'd even said to you earlier like that statement yesterday just wasn't acceptable. So like, fair play to him for coming out and actually saying what they believe there. I suppose it begs the question, like, what happens now with the band? You said, as it says, see you all soon there. So like, maybe that is a hint that they're going to keep going, possibly with Serge as the lead singer. Maybe they'll replace him. What do you think, Jordan? What do you reckon for the future?
Yeah, I think Serge is going to be the lead vocalist now. I really can't see them getting someone else in as a lead vocalist. It's going to be hard to replace him, honestly. And I think Serge is the only one that will replace him as the lead vocalist, honestly. And to be honest, like, he has been a lead vocalist for some of their songs and he's done a great job on those songs. So it'll be interesting to see. And also he released a solo album there last year and it was pretty decent. So I won't be surprised to see Serge taking over as the lead vocalist.
Yeah, there's definitely potential there. Like I said, his solo career went off to a decent start. He's done some songs as lead singer with Kasabian already. And I think I don't know an awful lot about Kasabian, but like I think it's fairly well known that he is like the brains of the operation. Like, as in, the lead singer probably is somewhat replaceable in a sense. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But it begs the question, really, do they have to change the name now? Do they have to form a new band since the lead singer has left and given all the controversy? What do you think, Danny?
I think Serge is the logical choice. He knows the band inside out. He knows what kind of music they've been producing. I've seen a few people on Twitter suggesting maybe Miles Kane, and even one person actually talking about Richard Ashcroft coming in as the lead. It just wouldn't be right. I think Serge is, as you said, the brains. He's the heart of Kasabian. You may as well give him the lead now and bring in a new guitarist maybe to cover him instead of, putting a new face to the same band. If Serge takes the role, you can still call it Kasabian. You can still produce the same music. If someone else comes in, maybe, you could have a BDI situation where it's familiar faces with unfamiliar music. That just wouldn't.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose it begs the question whether, like, is Kasabian now marred, or like, it can't really go on because of this controversy? Like, is the name just gone now? Like, should they have to completely distance themselves from this situation?
I think so. I don't know. I think every time someone's going to talk about Kasabian, they're going to say, "Oh yeah, their lead singer was so and so who did such and such." Like, I think it would be probably a healthy direction to go in by maybe changing the name and starting fresh.
I think that if they change their name, it might be and have a negative impact on the band. Like, as you were just saying, Oasis, and then when Noah left and BDI happened, we all know what happened there. And they did produce good music, but it wasn't the same thing, and they weren't even half as popular. So I think the same thing would happen with Kasabian. I think they have to keep the same name. They've done their best to distance themselves from what happened, and that's all they can do, really, I think.
Yeah, I was just talking to Tom earlier about, like, asking, like, has there many bands who have successfully, like, replaced the lead singer? And he mentioned, like, AC/DC, I think, I've done it before. Like, so it is possible. Like, it'd be interesting to see what they do.
They could take a Joy Division route about it either. You know, once Ian Curtis eventually committed suicide after their second, just before their second album came out, they rebranded to New Order and produced completely different music. I know it's probably not, mirror imaged or nothing, but it has been done where, they lose a member of their band. They can maybe change the direction that the band is going into and even be twice as successful. So it is something that could happen. Maybe it's only time will tell, really.
Yeah, it's true. It's like, it'll be very interesting to see what happens. I just can't imagine, like, everyone who had tickets for them shows before lockdown must be absolutely gutted with all this going on now.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, they were due to play, like, a big hometown show in Leicester, I think, weren't they?
Yeah.
And even, like, the dreams of, like, a big, maybe, like, Oasis reunion eventually with Kasabian supporting it all, probably dead at this stage. But
I really think Sarge is the one to take over for at least short term anyway. But like, even if they are going to produce a new album, like, off their last album, their last album, for crying out loud, was extremely strong. It was one of their best albums, and like, it's going to be hard to top that, especially now in the current circumstances. But if they can produce a half decent album with Sarge on the vocals, like, I really think they can, after what Sarge produced last year with his solo stuff, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens now.
Yeah, it's a very different style of vocals, isn't it? So, like, you could, like Danny said, it could be like almost a Joy Division New Order situation where they take a completely new direction.
A lot of Sarge's songs on previous albums, the Kasabian albums, he's had a lot of slower songs. So maybe the sound will change slightly, but like, I still think he could pull off some of those heavier songs, and I still think he could do, like, Fire and stuff like that.
I suppose even, like, if he does lead the band, he can experiment more, like different styles. Like you said, he could try something a little bit heavier rather than the stuff he usually does. I think that pretty much wraps it up. Is there anything else that needs to be said, really?
Well, whatever's been said already in social media, and all kind of caps it all up altogether. We shouldn't really give sympathy to the man for what he's done. Maybe try to understand whatever's going on and just be better people. And subscribe.
Yeah, I think there's definitely issues with, like, alcoholism there, I'd imagine, and stuff that way. Like I said,
definitely.
you have to be respectful in the sense that, like, he has a problem, he needs to sort that out, but you can't. It's not an excuse at the same time. Like, it's ridiculous. Hopefully, he gets life back on track. Like, hopefully, it doesn't happen again or anything that way.
In the end, really, like, you can respect what Kasabian have done here by distancing themselves from what's happened and all, and hopefully we do see them come back strong soon, and hopefully there is an album coming soon with maybe Sarge on lead vocals.
And you'd hope to God there's no black mark over Kasabian's name because of this,
Definitely.
I think you can still
That's
go back.
Actually, look, will people still enjoy their music as much now, knowing that this happens? Can you like separate the art from the artist, I suppose?
I'd hope that people can still go back and listen to For Crying Out Loud and those kind of, their albums, before all this, and appreciate.
Yeah, they have some classic songs like that are massive, but I hope that people can still appreciate them.
Yeah, appreciate them for what they were and not who sang them. Maybe it's tough, but I think a lot of people can see, can distance themselves from the person to the music, you know, and hopefully they can carry on without him, without having that dark cloud over him, so to speak.
Hopefully. What do you think, Jordan? You're pretty much like a Kasabian
Yeah,
super fan, really. What do you think?
like I've listened to Kasabian for years now, and like honestly, it's not going to change my view around from listening to the music. The music to me is completely separate from their personal lives. I'm not going to have any negative thoughts on listening to the music from what's happened in the current circumstances. So to me, that's just nonsense, really. The music is the music, and it's still there. It's still amazing, and Kasabian are one of the best bands today still.
Yeah, so like I said, hopefully that they can continue on making good music, hopefully with Serge or some other frontman, and produce a new album. But like, I think we'll call it there. So yeah, thanks for watching. Leave your comments below what you think of the whole situation. As Danny said a few minutes ago, subscribe, like the video, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Yup.
Yup.
Yep.